Yo, welcome back to KrabsFX. This is episode 11 of backtesting every single day until I'm profitable. Right here, we are on September 2023 on the 21st, and so far this is the month, minus 2%. Pretty bad month so far, but we're gonna keep going and see how we can end this month. But yeah, we're gonna start up PipLabs here. And we're gonna mark up the next day. Make sure we're in New York time here. I'm gonna skip to the 21st at 9 a.m. Right here, and we're gonna skip to market open, which is exactly 9:30 a.m. Boom, right there, market open. There we go, 9:30 a.m. as you can see. And right now we're gonna mark up previous day's low, previous day's high. Previous day's low is right here. And previous day high is up here. Right here we got Asia high. And London high here at 3 a.m. London low right here, 5 a.m. Not really significant right now. But yeah, let's determine our bias. Hopping on the daily time frame here. Looks like previous daily closing bearish. We don't have any major daily fair value gaps other than the one all the way up here, which we'll mark up. But yeah, let's hop on the 4 hour, also bearish. So there's our bias, bearish, based on higher time frames. And based on the previous 4 hour and the previous daily candle closures. Right here, it looks like we got a pretty big 4 hour fair value gap on markup, like that. Mark that 4 hour fair value gap. And right here, it looks like we left behind a 4 hour a 4 hour imbalance. Almost said a fair value gap, but 4 hour imbalance, because this candle of the pattern is still moving and active, so I call those imbalances. It's basically like a fair value gap, but this candle is still moving. If we can fill here, could possibly look for a move down, but let me check the 1 hour and see what's up there. But also looks like we have this 4 hour gap right here. We'll mark up. And we're gonna hop down to the 1 hour. And there's no major gaps down here on the 4 hour. But going down to the 1 hour, looks like we do have a gap here, but I don't really trust it since we have that 4 hour gap up here. So I'd rather see this 4 hour imbalance filled first and then look for the move down. Also, we don't really have a liquidity sweep. Let's see on the 15 minute. And here's some liquidity sitting, but let's see the lower time frames. Yeah, so ideally I just want to see this 4-hour imbalance filled, and then look for continuation down, following my bias. Let me just remark up this 1-hour gap. And next drawn liquidity is this low right here. Sell side liquidity sitting right here. But yeah, right here in market open, I want to see 4-hour imbalance get filled, get my move down. Also, that would be sweeping some of this 15-minute resting liquidity. It could also sweep this. But let's see how market opens, if we can get entry or not. Looks like we are manipulating here to the upside, which is nice to see. Price could also just reject off this 1-hour gap, but I want my more safer entry up here since we are down 2% on the month right now. So I'm trying to take the best entries that I can. Okay, I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. Looks like we're rejecting off the 1-hour gap, and yeah, that was the move, but I didn't want to take that because it was too risky having this 4-hour imbalance up there. But yeah, no trades here. Gonna journal that. No entries, and we're gonna move on to the next day, which is Friday here. Looks like we're gonna finish up this month in this session. We only got a few more days here. But yeah, this is the 22nd. (9:45 a.m. PMI news). Gonna keep that in mind. Right here, gonna mark up 9:30 a.m. again, and gonna mark up my previous day. Right here. Skip 30 minutes to exactly NYSE open, my trading time. But yeah, right here we're at 9:30 a.m. Get rid of this line. And hopping on the daily, looks like previous daily closed bearish. Looks like we have this daily imbalance up here. Could see a move off of that. I'm gonna mark that up because right now that's the largest drawn liquidity that I see. Hopping on the 4-hour bullish, so bias here is mixed bearish. Right here on the 4-hour, I see this 4-hour gap. Get rid of that. Looks like we swept through that sell side liquidity and reacted off of it. I'm gonna get rid of that. The next lower sell side is down here though, so I'm gonna just mark that up. Also, we do have some liquidity resting below here as well, So I'm gonna have that marked up. But yeah, right here, previous daily bearish. Ideally, I want to see price trade all the way back to this daily imbalance and get a short off of there, because that would be the best bet here. But yeah, 4-hour gap right there. It's like we got another 4-hour gap down here. Could use as like a target right there. Also, hopping on the 1 hour. Don't see much on 1 hour, but yeah, let's see how market opens. If we can get push up here, that would be nice. It is kind of asking for a lot since it is very high up, but let's see what market open does. Gonna speed this up. Might not have an entry. Looks like we tapped that 4-hour gap. Had a reaction off of there. It looks like we're drawing towards this daily imbalance here. But yeah, no trades there. I mean, did we sweep this liquidity here? We did. That's interesting to see. So it looks like we swept this sell side liquidity, tapped into this 4-hour gap, and then rejected to the upside to target this daily imbalance. Ideally, I want to see this get filled. But yeah, no trades again. Pretty boring. But it is what it is. Next day here is Monday the 25th. See if we got any news. Nah, no news Monday. We'll skip over there right now. Right there. And skip exactly to 9:30 a.m. again. Looks like we filled this 4-hour gap. Still got this 4-hour gap right there. Hopping on the daily, I'm guessing. Oh, we did close bullish here on the daily. 4-hour bearish, so bias here is mixed bullish for me. Right here on the 4-hour, looks like we have a 4-hour imbalance we could look to fill. Next round liquidity could be right here, as well as this daily imbalance up here. So I'm watching these two areas for price to draw towards. But yeah, on the 1 hour, looks like we swept this sell side liquidity here. Got that 1 hour gap right there. Let's see if we have some type of entry here. Don't really have an entry. Let's check the 5. We do have this 5-minute gap though. We could possibly take an entry off of this. Just because we swept the sell side liquidity, looks like. if we can get price to tap back into this 5-minute gap, take a long off of there, stops below the gap, and yeah, targets is 4-hour imbalance. We got daily bullish, so 4-hour is pretty bearish though. Breaking structure downside, 1 hour as well, but that looks like it's the only opportunity here, so if we can get price to tap in there, we'll take it. So now let's wait, and there's our entry right there. Run a 30-point stop here below the lows. Target 1 to 2. Buy a market. And let's see what price wants to do. Filled that 5-minute gap. See if we could target this 4-hour imbalance up here. And see if we can get our 1-to-1 so that then we can move stops to break even. There we go. 1-to-1 hit. Stop loss to break even here. TP is 1 to 2 RR, which is also this liquidity sitting up here, this buy side liquidity. But let's see if we can reach for our TP here. Expecting price to sweep these highs right here. Gonna speed this up, and there we go. So entry confirmations for this trade was number 1, time, 9:30 a.m. Number 2, we swept the sell side liquidity. We did close below it, but we did show rejections with these wicks. So it was like a sweep of sell side liquidity. And then we had price tap into a 5-minute fair value gap, which then following our bias, we took our long. Target was these highs, and longer term target was this 4-hour imbalance. So let's just see if that imbalance gets filled. And there's our target, full target, 4-hour imbalance. Got hit, so if I would have held for that, it would have been like a 1 to 3. But yeah, for this data, I'm just grabbing my 1 to 2s. But yeah, let me mark up my entry confirmations here, and we're gonna journal it and move on to the next day. 1, bias. 2, sell side. Sell side liquidity was rated. Number 3, tapped into a 5-minute fair value gap. Let's journal this and put in the screenshot, and we're gonna move on to the next day. Was a long here, follow daily bias. Bias was mixed bullish, and this was at 9:30 a.m. Next day is Tuesday. Right here, some 10 a.m. red folders, new home sales, orange folder. So we're gonna keep that in mind. Also, we got some 9:59 a.m. news. So yeah, some 10 a.m. news right here. So we're gonna skip over there. The next sell side liquidity, I believe, is actually it's this one down here. But yeah, let's skip over to the next day now. Mark up previous day here. Can mark up previous day's high, or previous day's low right there. Gonna mark up previous day's high right there. Gonna mark up Asia. Asia's not significant here since it is also the previous day's high. But we're gonna mark up London high here at 4 a.m. and London low right here at 3 a.m. So those are the areas I'm paying attention to. Let's hop on the daily time frame. Let's see what bias is bullish here. Let's just double check the weekly, what it was. Yeah, weekly was bearish. Daily bullish, 4 hour bearish. Bias here is mixed bullish. Looks like we still got these gaps up here. Gonna have these marked up. On the daily, still got this daily imbalance. We also have this daily fair value gap down here. Just like down here, we also have daily gap down here. Gonna leave it marked up since we are pretty close to it. Right here on the 4 hour, looks like we got this 4 hour gap I'm looking at. Looks like we tapped into it. Hopping down to the 1 hour. What do I see? I see the same 4 hour gap is also a 1 hour fair value gap. And ideally I'm looking for buys. So let's see if there's something below this previous day's low. Let's see if we have an entry gap. Not really any entries on the 1 hour. Let's check the 15-minute. And no entries on the 15-minute. Let's check the 5-minute now. Yeah, so not really any fair value gaps that I could enter on below the previous day's low. But yeah, let's see what market open does. See, I gotta skip over a little bit more. Skip skip over to 9:30 a.m. Right there on the 1 hour. So yeah, we don't really have an entry for longs here. So let's just watch what price does. Assuming price is gonna wanna sweep these lows and then continue back up. But we just don't really have an entry. Close below previous day's low. And looks like we're continuing bearish. So here bias did not actually play out. But yeah, no trades here. Didn't really have much that I liked. So we're gonna mark that no entries, and move on to the 27th here, which we have 8:30 a.m. news, but nothing that I'm really worried about. Skip over here. Right there, skip 30 minutes. Right there, 9:30 a.m. Looks like we filled this. What is this, a daily gap? Yeah, daily gap got filled right here. Had a reaction off of that after sweeping the sell side liquidity. But yeah, we're gonna mark up previous day's highs, previous day's low, just like before. Previous day's low right here at 15 o'clock. London low right here was swept. Still got that 4-hour gap up here sitting. We got London high right here at 4 a.m. And the reason I like these session highs and lows is because I often get nice reactions off them. Like right here, London low swept for liquidity. So here orders were filled, people's stop losses were hit, and we could see a move up off of this, possibly. So that's something I'm looking at right now. But let's see the higher time frame, bearish. So daily imbalance was filled. So ideally I'm looking for shorts here. The next sell side liquidity is down here, this low right here. So I'm gonna mark that up. As well as right here, this low as well. So yeah, on the daily I don't see anything I'm really looking at. Just that previous candle closed bearish, so that gives me my bearish bias as well as 4-hour closing bearish. So 4-hour and daily are aligned, so shorts make sense here. Also right here we have this 4-hour fair value gap. That if price trades up into this, it would be a 4-hour fair value gap fill. So then we can take price down from there. On the 1 hour here, it looks like we got this gap right here. Pretty big 1 hour gap. yeah, other than that, don't see much else. Actually, I do like this setup though. We can sweep these London highs and fill this 1 hour gap about like 50%. I'll take an entry off of that. Let's see what would stop loss be though. Above there, above the 4 hour. Yeah, I do like that setup. If we could sweep these London highs to continue down. See if we can manipulate up there to grab this liquidity. And let's see if we could push up a little bit more. And that's so unfortunate. Looks like we just tapped into this 1 hour gap and then gave the move down, so basically missed the entry there. But I wanted to see price push up just a little bit more. But yeah, that's the missed trade right there. But it's all good. We're gonna go to the next day. I wanted to see price hit this 50% of the 1 hour gap, since we also had a 4 hour gap up here. So like say I entered right here, my stop loss would not be protected with 30 points because the price wanted to reach for that 4 hour gap. I would only be protected if I had a better entry up here. But yeah, that's unfortunate, but it's nice to see bias played out. Bias is right here, by the way. Bearish. But yeah, gonna journal this. Gonna put no entries again. We didn't really miss the entry. It wasn't like the safest entry, so far break even month. On to Thursday here. So on to the 28th, Thursday here. I think this will be a shorter backtesting session since we are wrapping up the month, and I got a dip in a little bit. At like 10:15 I got a dip, but I will do a part 2 today, so I will get in my hour no matter what of backtesting. I'm gonna do a part 2 later. I'm gonna do probably a longer backtesting session later tonight. But yeah, let's go to Thursday 28th. Skip over there. Just get rid of this. But yeah, let's wrap up this month real quick. 2 more days. And yeah, let's see what the 28th can do. Break even month though right now. So I'm looking to take only like safe setups. Well, that's pretty much what I've been doing this whole time, but you know what I mean. Skip here 30 minutes. Let's mark up previous day. Previous day's low down here. Previous day's high right there. London high right here was swept, so you can see off that London high at 3 a.m. we got this reaction at 8 a.m. to the downside. Right here's London low, also swept, and we had a reaction off of that to the upside. Just barely swept, but we did sweep it here. Hopping on the daily closed bullish. hopping on the 4-hour bearish. So bias here is mixed bullish. And the 1 hour here, we don't really have any entries again, but if we can get this low swept, let's see if we have something on the, yeah, so I don't really like this. Too wide of a 15-minute gap. Too wide of a 5-minute gap, so let's just see what price does here. Let's play this. Looks like we swept that London low. Let's see if there's a reaction to the upside now. Target would be like these previous days high. Let's see if price can deliver there as a drawn liquidity, previous days highs. Reason I didn't enter, I didn't really have an entry. No fair value gap to enter from. On the lower time frames, I had a wide 15-minute gap and a very wide 5-minute gap. But bias here was correct, as you can see. Let's see if we can tap into, there we go, swept that previous day's high perfectly. Nice drawn liquidity there. But yeah, let's skip over to filled this, filled that. Skip over to the next day. Oh yeah, I forgot to journal this one, but throw that in, no entries. And hopping down to Friday. 10 a.m. news. They're 9:30 a.m. Previous day's high was swept already. Previous day's low is down there. London low. Guessing it's 2 a.m. London low is right here. London high was swept as well. We got Asia low right here. Looks like price is at this 4-hour fair value gap. And target is this daily gap being filled. But bias here is bullish based on the daily. Price is drawing towards this daily fair value gap to fill it. And 4 hours bearish, but in the 4 hour here, we got 4-hour gap right here. On the 1 hour, I would like to see something like this. If we can sweep these lows for liquidity. I mean, we do have this London low. Actually, no, we don't. If we can sweep these lows right here and then continue back up, that's what I'm gonna take, but we might not get down there. But let's see, we need some type of liquidity first. Looks like price is just gonna fly without us. And no entries there. So that's pretty much the month here, break even. bunch of no entries, which is no fun. But yeah, I am researching other like models to backtest because this one is not performing the best. But yeah, I'm looking into the market maker buy and sell models, so I'm still studying those. But yeah, that's that break-even month, 0% profit month. If you guys want to see all the data I got right now, let me pull that up 1 sec. Here's everything I got so far on my system. Not performing the best at all. Break-even month, 1% profit, 3% profit, 0%, one good month of 10%, and some 5% months, and 2 losing months so far. So not performing the best, but this is why we backtest, and we save time by backtesting. But yeah, if you guys aren't in my Discord, make sure you hop in there. We got live trading in here every single day at 9:20 a.m. It looks like this is new right here. I think my boy Jason just added this here. That's fire. But yeah, called out a trade last week in here. We also got the live trading right here. We got networking chat where you can meet people, talk about yourself, what you do. Got a bunch of people on the same journey. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Thank you guys for 100 subs again. I appreciate all the comments, all the support, all the love. So if you made it this far, comment Krab if you made it till the end. I want to see who actually made it all the way till the end. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, peace. Oh, and I'm doing a part 2 later, so I know it's at like 42 minutes, but I'm gonna backtest later today too and upload that as well. So yeah, we'll get in our hour of backtesting later today also. But yeah, until next time, peace.